Aloha. Namaste. Welcome back. I'm Deb Hart. I just wanted to bring you another 5 minutes of Reiki, and I had a couple of things that just kind of awarenesses this last week that I wanted to talk about. How are you all feeling to start with? I feel like I was finally able to just relax and exhale. It feels so good. I mean, this has been intense, right? This has been so fucking intense. Last 18 months? I don't know, maybe the last 8, 9, 10 years. But my experience has been really, really intense. You know, a lot of us have a lot of things coming up and dealing with. And am I yet, near the end of my heavy releasing? Oh, gosh, I hope so. But just the energies, the exhaustion and the dizziness and all of those ascension symptoms that go with it. And just now it's like I woke up today feeling so rested. I slept really well. I actually didn't even wake up until like 4:30 at all. When does that happen anymore? Hello, starseeds. 3 to 5 a.m., right? That was really lovely. I woke up feeling fabulous today and so happy, and I'm like, today's the day to give Reiki. But I had a couple of awarenesses that I just wanted to share because it helps me. We all have aha moments. We all have awarenesses and communication, and a lot of times when I get that from other people, it helps me. So one of the awarenesses I had, and maybe like, hello, but let me just back up. There are a lot of things that I understand intellectually. I understand and feel in my heart and in my gut that I am consciously ascending. I know this. There are a lot of things that I know, right? Nobody could talk me out of it. I know. But then sometimes something happens and you feel the energy behind it, and it completely shifts your perspective. So I shared that personally for me, I've gone through a lot of emotion around the jab. Not so much about COVID, to be honest with you. When it all started rolling out, I was on a cruise. I instantly knew that, none of this sounds right. And then came back to my state. I live in Maui, so I'm on the tarmac, and the governor had just announced that visitor travel to our state was shut down. So all of that was literally happening while I was on vacation, and I already had an inner knowing that things are not as they appear. Hadn't heard anything on the news whatsoever. First of all, I don't listen to the cabal run media. But I was also traveling. Like, I didn't have any news, nothing. So fast forward to, none of that bothered me. When I had to be on quarantine multiple times, I live on acreage. I weeded, I planted, I worked in the garden. I turned my house into a meditation retreat, and with daily massages and Reiki, and it was great. If that was not your experience, I'm really sorry. I am not bragging. I am just sharing with you that I did not feel quite so affected. Then the jab started rolling out, and I had a completely different inner feeling, because there are people very close to me that have chosen that for them. And I do understand it's a soul choice. And even that understanding, when it's somebody that is so completely close to you and you're not on the same page, and you think about, oh my God, and this could happen. You think about all of these things. Of course, we're in a physical body, in a third dimensional experience. Of course it's affecting me. So I've had to work through that. And I shared probably in my last video that I had to go through the anger. Oh my God, here on Maui, I went through an entire, probably, let's say, a fantasy about storming the medical director's office of Kaiser and saying, how dare you? You have the same access to information that I have, and blah, 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 blah. I didn't do that. It was a fantasy. Went through my mind. I took, I don't know, maybe it was a couple of weeks to work through this, and I feel like I'm on the other side. I said this last week, I'm still feeling that way. Time will tell, right? But I feel like I have. So I manage vacation rentals here on Maui. And our governor announced we're asking for visitors not to travel to Hawaii. So I instantly, like in the last 72 hours, I probably had 12 cancellations. It's just the beginning. I'm assuming that that's probably what I'm going to be doing all next week, because we're probably going to be shut down. Maybe I'm wrong. I think the writing's on the wall. So as I'm reading some of this stuff that's being put out to the state, and I have to stay on top of that because I have to direct travelers that come here, because yes, the Maui airport does turn people away for not taking an approved test. I've had people that have taken tests at a Seattle hospital that got turned away because it's not on the list. So I do need to stay cognizant and aware of that, because people come to me for advice. So because of that, there were a few days ago that I started to, wow, I'm already 6 minutes in and I've not even made a point. I'm so sorry. Thank you for hanging with me. But I'm reading through some of this and I'm starting to get a little irritated, because I'm like, this is just total BS. And then I had this big, huge, hello, you know that we're all ready to build out our new earth. Some of us are already working towards that. That's our goal. We know where we're going, and we cannot create all of the new. Obviously, there's new that's already starting, but all of it. We can't create a new government. We can't create a brand new educational system and pull out of the old one. We can't create a new financial system. We can't create a new medical system. Did I say that? Until they crumble. It has to crumble, and we're watching it crumble. So let it happen. Watch it with ease and grace. Send it love. Support those humans that don't have an understanding yet of what's happening, so that we can get to the point of building out the new. I know this sounds completely like, hello, of course that's supposed to happen. But I didn't feel that. I do now. So I'm like, okay. So it's put me in such a better space of calm and peace. So I'm only sharing that because maybe some of you are still feeling that way, or maybe all of you are already past me and you haven't let anything bother you. But just in case, I thought that, I'd share that. The other big aha I had, which is just so big to me, so there's 2 books I'm reading that I was beautifully guided to read. One is the Magdalene manuscript, which is all about Yeshua and Mary Magdalene's basically tantric relationship with, their relationship with sex magic to build up his prana, his ka body, his chi, to prepare him for what he was having to do, what he was going to be going through and dying on the cross. And then I'm reading Anna, I just finished it, Anna, the grandmother of Jesus. And it's about her, it's channeled from her words, and she was here over 600 years on this planet. And it was talking about basically how they did that, how they prepared the body so that they could go in these states of rest. I can't remember what they called it, but basically rest in like a mummified kind of way, sometimes for months or more. And that they stayed, unaged. That's only part of it. Her ancestry, like everything she went through, working with the Essenes, teaching sex magic, the light infused births, the light conception. I think that's what it was referred to as. So, Mother Mary, it's talked about in the Bible, was, had a virgin birth. Basically, she was light incepted, but it talked about Jesus wasn't the only one that was conceived that way. There were a number of people that were all part of that story that were in this book, and it's just fascinating. So fast forward, I just wanted to share that with you because you might have an interest in listening to it, reading it as well, because it is fascinating. And talk about an activation. Wow. But what really hit me a couple nights ago is I read, I was at the Last Supper, reading at that chapter. Whether I was there or not, I don't know. I don't have any memory of it, but I was reading the Last Supper chapter. And what really hit me is after the Last Supper and after his crucifixion, was talking about, like, basically what did they do after that? Picking up the pieces and moving on. They still had a mission to do on the planet. And that some of them were, stoned, and they were just treated so badly because of following this, not following the narrative, I guess. And holy cow, all of a sudden it was like, whoa. That's the same energy we're in right now. Those of us that are standing in our sovereignty and standing up to the narrative and saying, you know what, God bless you. You have a right to do you, boo, and I have a right to do me. And I'm going to stand in my own sovereignty, and I'm going to say no to what's not okay for me. Period. I don't care what the consequences are. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I don't care, because I stand in my own sovereignty, and I know what is true for me and what's important for me and what I'm going to do with my body and my time and my whatever. Anyway, that was quite big for me, and I just thought that was really beautiful, and I just wanted to share. It's the same energy. We're in the same energy. So I am going to move on into Reiki and give you 5 minutes of Reiki, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you find it beneficial. If you are on the island of Maui, I have a beautiful, sweet little studio on the South Shore in Kihei. I would love to see you. I would love to offer you a session. I have several different modality tools. I've got an I-toroid, which is a crystal. I've shown it before. It's a round crystal like this that's wrapped in copper. It's connected to an MP3 player that plays different frequencies, and lots of different things that does. I also have a Healy, which has over 300,000 frequencies. It looks at your aura. Actually, take a picture of your aura. It assesses your chakras, and I get a graph with a percentage of the opening of your chakras that I share with you, so you know what to work on. That's also something that can send frequencies. You see that your third eye is super low. We can send frequencies to your third eye as an example. It assesses everything. All of your organs, your organ meridians, your aura, energetically, emotionally, hormonally. It assesses everything. So anyway, that's something else I bring in if you're interested. I also do distance sessions. So I encourage you to check out my website, debhart.com. I've got all my sessions on there, but that's not all I do. There's more. And one last announcement. I just got a really big download last week. I'm very excited to do auric sprays. I am just starting my first one, which will be a protection spray. I have 9 of them. I was downloaded with 9 different ones to make and how to do it. So I'm going to start my next one, the first one this next week. And as they go up, I will share them with you, and I will also put them on my website. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And I wish you all so much love, so much happiness, so much peace during this very chaotic time. That we just stick together in a space of love to help all we can with the collective. I wish you all well. Namaste. Hold tight, Marie.